Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. We're here in Montreal for the second flight of today. We flew in here from Fort Lauderdale, Florida a little earlier. We're now getting our connecting flight from here over to Toronto. Air Canada Flight 425. Today we're flying in this Boeing 737, and we're heading off to Toronto. Let's get into the cockpit. It's going to get noisy out here. There we go. We're inside, so we're going to get the aircraft set up and ready to go. So we'll come down here. We will get our brakes on. We're going to turn on our flashlight. We'll pop up to the overhead, and we'll get some power into the aircraft. So the battery switch is coming on. Standby power switch to auto. Emergency exit lights armed. We're going to lean back. We'll turn the dome lights on. Kill that flashlight now. There we go. Ground power is available. We'll turn the ground power on. And while we're here, we'll come down. We'll put the position lights on. We'll put the logo lights on. And we'll start getting some panel lighting up. Pop down here. Get the mains on. Got a touch of background floodlighting going. Pop down here to the panel. Touch of floods there, and over to Roger's side. He's out doing the walk around. And there we go. So I'm going to go through, start getting everything all set up, ready to go. We'll see you for the FMC inputs. All right, here we go. We're going to enter in the information into the FMC. We're all good there. I know the nav data says it's out of date. That's because the sim is wound forward to the date of the flight. That is all good. We've got our position initialized, and we can now come in. We're going to request our route, CYUL to CYYZ. We'll set our payload and fuel.
Code 299 Yankee with 8 Pop Air Canada.
We are good there, and we are going to say yes, that's the route we want. For today's flight on board, we have 140 passengers. We're looking at an air time of approximately 1 hour, and we'll be flying at 38,000 feet today. All right, we'll load in the route. There we go, ACA 425 is our flight number. It's not a long route.
Contact tower 119.9.
And there we go, route's in. Basically 3 waypoints. So over to our departure today with the weather here in Montreal, which is currently VFR conditions. There's some scattered clouds in the area. 9 degrees currently. Winds are 290 at 9, so we're going to be taking off on 24 right. 15 miles of visibility, and no ceiling. Actually, we're going to be going off on 24 left. No ceiling, a 29er, 79er. So departing on 24 left on the Charlie Yankee Uniform Lima 4, which is basically a 5 miles straight out, and then vectors to our first waypoint. We can execute that. We'll come back to our index and our arrival. Winds are similar down in Toronto, kind of out of the west-ish, slightly northwest. So that means a little bit of a crosswind. It's 17 to 12 knots. So we're going to be landing on runway. So let's see what they're using at the moment. Yeah, they're using runway 23. So that's what we're going to use. So we're going to come down here. No, we're going to go to here. Our arrival, it's going to be the ILS runway 23. We're going to be coming in on the Ragged 5 Delta from Torney. I'm just going to change in SimBrief, or sorry, Navigraph, our runway. It's going to be ILS 23. Grab the chart. And yeah, we'll go in at new deck. So that is now entered in. So over to legs page for seaward vectors. We'll then do a vector to Bobkey and into Torney. We'll then descend down towards new deck on the arrival. And from deck we then split off up to the northern runway, and then it's got us there. We can actually move that up. It'll be a straight in, and there we go. So that's all entered in, and we are good there. So over to our initialization, we'll get the information from SimBrief. And we're going to have to come down here and pull up our performance tool for our departure. Again, we're going off on 24 left. Information is pulled in. Aircraft information is in with our weight. And we'll grab the weather and calculate. All right, so we're going to load in the information. There we go, and we'll execute. And we'll make amendments from here. So as mentioned, we are going up to flight level 380. This is 360. So we're going 380. Our reserve is going to be 0.9. And everything else is looking good. We can come over to our N1 limits. It wants us on a TO1 today with a cell temperature of 49 degrees. So that is now in. We'll be doing a TO1 and a climb 1. Over to our takeoff information. We'll get the winds in 290 at 9. That is now in. We'll come back over here now. It's going to be a flaps 1 for departure, center of gravity. We're going to have 600 feet remaining, and our V speeds 130, 131, 135. 130, 131, and 135 are set. So that's the FMC done. We come down now to our altimeters, 299.3, so that's pretty close to standard pressure. Transponder, we will set to 1,000. Fueling, loading, and boarding is complete. Takeoff data is all set. We're going to cruise at 380. And we have an airport elevation here at Montreal of 120 feet. So we'll go to 150. That is set. Landing altitude is set. MCP. V2 plus 10 is going to be 145. Runway heading is 237 degrees. And we're going to be going straight to 380. We're not flying on a departure, we're just flying vectors and climb to altitude. Sorry, 380, not 280. And 380 is set. So flight directors are coming on. Radios are set. We'll get them to pull the stairs away. So doors are clear, ground equipment is coming clear, release ground power, and we're going to come down here to FS action. We'll get them to pull the chocks as well. We'll turn on the anti-collision lights. There she goes.
Montreal clearance low with
Get rid of this, go back to our map, and we are going to call for our push.
300 Charlie.
Kilo 371, departure frequency 12465, apron for the push. Good day.
2465.
I'll take a quick look outside. So the aircraft is looking good. And here comes our crew chief for the push. Extra traffic that we see is courtesy of FSLTL. It's providing all the additional traffic, such as the guy that pushed back and started up when we were leaving. And as you can see, there's a couple Air Canada Rouge down at the other end. And I'm sure Toronto will be busy when we get there as well. So as they come in, we're going to set ourselves up inside here. I'm going to turn data on, center, and over to there. So all the radars are off, obviously. There's people walking around the front of the aircraft. And we don't want to fry them. We'll come down here over to the FMC and set the legs page for Roger now. And we can just force a habit. We'll turn the radios over to our usual VATSIM numbers. 122.8 for Unicom and 121.5, which is a guard channel on nav2, which we will now set to monitor. Apparently they're now using CTAFs on Canadian airports, so we'll have to check that out sometime in the future. So we're going to push back, and for here we're going to go nose right, tail left, because there is a route that you take when you're taxiing around here.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push.
All right, brakes are released.
Start at will.
Up to the overhead, we're going to turn on the fuel pumps. There's no fuel in the center tanks. We're going to turn off the packs, and we're going to start rotating engine number 2. Ground start valve open. So we're either going to go out B4 or B6. It depends where we end up on the push. And adding fuel.
Apron Air Canada 305, requesting push and start. Gate 6.
Canada 305, Montreal, apron push back face east on box Sierra, call for taxi.
Good spin on the engine as she comes up, and we are turning as we're pushed.
40384, Montreal, apron turn left, taxi north ramp to box number 10, there's traffic in front of you, please.
North ramp, box 10 for 40384 check.
And there's starter cut off. Good start on engine 2. We're going to come up now and start engine number 1.
Take your way to Porter, short southbound, north ramp, Canada 304.
And we'll add fuel. Let's see if they get us lined up nicely, like they did not do down at Fort Lauderdale on the last leg. There we go. We're looking good. Engine's starting to spin up. And they should be stopping us any minute now. There she is.
Please set parking brakes.
All right. Brakes are set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Should get it any second now. There's the cutoff on the starter, so we have good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Up to the overhead. Engine generators 1 and 2 are now online. Engine 1 and 2 start switches to continuous. Probe heat left and right is on. Engine anti-ice not required. Engine bleeds 1 and 2 are now on. Packs are on auto. Recirculation fan auto. Isolation valve to auto. APU bleed off. APU is off. Coming down here, we're going to go flaps 1, our takeoff flap setting. Elevator trim, we want 5.56. Crank this around to about 5.5. It's right about there. And we'll do our flight controls. Full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, and our rudders are good. Check on engine instruments, everything is good there. Bring them up to the top. There goes Air Canada going by. LNAV and VNAV are now armed. Auto throttle is armed. Warning recall is clear. So she's out there, right there, holding up the pin. We'll give her the salute, saying, yeah, we see it. And the nose wheel steering is free. And she's going to wave goodbye, and we are good to go. So up top, we're going to go to our taxi lights. We'll turn them on. Auto brake set to RTO. And we are good to taxi. So we're going to head down to runway 24 left, and we will see you when we get there. We're now holding at 24 left. We'll do our pre-departure checks. There's fuel flow is equal across the engines. V-speeds 130, 131, 135 are set. MCP 145, 237, and flight level 380 are set. So position lights will go to strobe and steady. Wing lights are on. Turn off lights are on. Taxi lights are off. Landing lights are on. Transponder will now go over to TARA. We'll bring up our traffic on both sides. For our TCAS, runway is identified. Look over there, it says 24 left. We saw that coming in. Approach path is clear, so we're going to take position. Looking good. We're going to have a bit of a crosswind from the right by the looks of it. About an 8-knot crosswind. So we'll add in some right aileron as we roll. And there we go. Now all nicely lined up. All right, clock is running. We'll bring the engines up to 40%. Everything is checked. And we are good to go. So bringing up the chart and there we go, brakes released, takeoff power set. Check. There's our rotation.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Bounced by the wind over the buildings there a little bit.
Well, approach November 292, Juliet Sierra out of 11,600, descending 8,000, we have November.
November 292, Juliet Sierra, Montreal arrivals, good day, runway 24 right, set by, altimeter 29er.
Settling in, autopilot on.
29er 80, descend 4,000.
So as we come up to 2,000 feet, we're going to go direct now to Bob Key.
After stay taught, heading 100, 292 Juliet Sierra.
And there's our turn. So positive rate, gear up, autopilot is on, auto brakes are off, gear lever is set to off, engine start switches are now back to off as well, turn off lights are off, and there's 200 knots, so flaps can come up. Cabin pressurization is normal.
Quarter 384, descend 4,000.
Descend 4,000, quarter 384.
28 Romeo Yankee, you were looking for the...
A little bit of traffic around us. We're on our way to our first point. There's Montreal behind us as we leave, heading eastwards towards Toronto. So I'll give you a few views as we fly along. And we'll pick this up again as we get ready to head down into Toronto. See you then.
065, quarter 384.
That is 107.
As you can see, we're descending down in Toronto now. Just over here. If you can see the mouse. That's the Oshawa Airport. This is the town of Oshawa, city of Oshawa. And we've got a few cities in between, Whitby and Ajax, and then there's Pickering. And then the big city of Toronto, we can see it all formed up out here, lit up. Aircraft coming up along the coast. But we're heading down towards transition to 10,000 feet. And we're going to head this way. We're going to make a bit of a right-left jog. And it's sort of a straight in for runway 23. But we'll see how that goes. So we're just 2.5 miles out of Ragged. At that point, we're going to make our turn. We're going to get ready to start slowing down to 250 knots. And at Denka, we have to be at 220. Denka's they're about 17 miles ahead.
Number 100 Julie Whiskey, level 410.
We're heading down now. We are looking good. Short flight, but it's been uneventful. So we're going to bring her actually back to 245. On both 250 we can go to flaps 5, which is what we're going to end up doing.
Or greater until QRX over QRX, contact tower 11835. Okay.
Speed's slowly going to come back. Engine's rolling back to neutral. Speed starting to come down.
Thanks very much. One more turn coming up.
And of course, as we go through 10,000 feet, it'll be landing lights on, and we will ding the cabin to let them know.
5146, turn left 270, heading intercept, third ILS.
So there's 10,000 feet coming up, so we'll get the landing lights on. Turn off lights will come on. We'll put on our logo and our wing lights as well. Seatbelts are already on in the back, but we'll give the cabin a nice double ding there. Let them know we're going through 10,000 feet now. So speed's back to 250.
1237 Ranger, turn right 210, heading to intercept, descend to 3000, clear visual approach runway 23.
210, intercept, descend 3000, clear the...
And there we are. So we're going to go flaps 1.
5146, speed 170 knots.
That'll help start slowing us down.
Tower 11835.
Adding some drag in there. Flaps 2.
Yes, 879, contact arrival 24.
And we're going to go right to flaps 5.
Arrival 2447, Jazz 879, good day.
We'll hold that speed at 245. We'll be at 7,000 feet at Denka. In a minute, we're going to slow down to 220 knots. We'll keep flaps 5 as well for the time being.
Jazz 879, arrival, roger, descend 3000 and speed 190 knots.
There's Lake Ontario.
Speed 190, Jazz 879.
Jazz 260, parallel traffic, 11 o'clock, slightly high.
And the greater Toronto area over here.
Jazz 260.
1237 cross
as we come down.
Knots, contact tower there, 1187.
We're 6 miles away, so we're going to bring our speed down now to 220 knots.
Turn left 330 heading.
Left turn 330, Jazz 879.
Jazz 260, turn left 270 heading intercept, third out.
So the engines will roll back, and
visual approach 24 left, Jazz 260.
Measured.
The little bit of flaps we have will help. There's 230.
4.47.
It's going to roll in a little bit more on the
Arrival envoy 3608, 7 to 6 for 2.
on the map here. Not sure why we've got these extra lines here coming up, as we do kind of go straight along where we should be going. Oh, we got a repeat here. He just popped down into our legs. Should be Denek, Duga, Calvi, New Deck. I'm not sure why we go Calvi again. After a New Deck.
Blue Street 5667 arrival, runway 24
I see what's happened.
900,000.
Jazz 879, turn left 270 heading intercepts and cleared the Isla approach runway 24 left.
We're just going to place you with you, and that'll sort that out.
508, turn left heading 330.
Left heading 330, 508.
508, roger.
There we go. There's our turn.
Delta 470, heavy arrival, landing runway 24 left, altimeter 29906, ATIS is India, descend
Through 7,000 feet.
Runway 3608, descend 4,000.
Distance to the Toronto Airport. There's the YYZ VOR. It's just under 27 miles now.
3,000, 190 knots,
Jazz 260, speed 170
The ILS of India Yankee Zulu
170 over Carrick,
is correct
Jazz 260, yeah.
and identified.
Instrument 508, turn left heading 300, one more turn coming up.
Left heading 300, instrument 508.
Runway 3608, turn left 360 heading.
Left turn 360, runway 3608.
Jazz 879.
There's the airport. A little bit of a freeze there. We do have scenery here.
170 to Carrick Tower there, Jazz 879.
First Lake, Ontario, and just off here I could just make out the flashing lights of the Island Airport in downtown Toronto. We are heading down to 3,000 feet for the intercept.
Cleared intercept ILS runway 24 left, instrument 508.
Everything is looking good. Not seeing a lot of traffic in the area at the moment.
190.
Looks like there's one or two around the airport.
330 down to 3,000, runway 3608.
There's 24 left, 24 right. Over at the south end of the field, we're heading into the north end of the field. And on runway 23. And then there's also 2 north-south runways. So 5 total, 10 if you want to split it from both ends. We'll hold 220 knots until we make the turn ahead, and then we're going to slow to 200.
Speed to 200 knots.
Set to 4,000, then reduced to you said 200 knots?
At 4,000, yes.
Roger, at 4,000, 200
And then we'll start getting ourselves ready to come in for the final landing. So, coming in, nav course frequency are done, speeds are within limits, speed brakes.
5,000.
Yeah, we can that deployed. Don't want speed brake deployed.
57, descend to 8,000.
I want it to arm. Arm. Speed brakes are now armed.
24 left, altimeter 29906, ATIS Juliet, send 5,000.
There's us turning inbound.
Juliet.
We'll go into localizer mode. Catch the localizer.
Air Canada 3-4, descend to 8,000, cleared RNAV Yankee runway 23 approach, pass through transition.
Still waiting on the glide slope.
Okay, descend to 8,000 and cleared the RNAV Yankee 23 approach by a pass through transition for Air Canada 3-4.
There we go. So we're going to bring our speed down to 200 now.
United 608, contact arrival 2447.
2447, have a good day, sir. United 608.
Good.
The city's looking nice tonight.
Rebel United.
Not as cloudy as it was suggesting.
400, sending 4,000.
So we are doing good there. Below 210, we can go to flaps 10.
3,000 at a speed of 190, United 608.
Flaps 10 selected.
228, contact ground on 129.
17 miles out.
Customer A, stand over General Canada. Porter 359, departure 128.
Departure 128, 8 to Porter 359.
Tower, hello, it's Challenger Charlie Fox India Romeo Kilo.
Best approach, if we have to do it, is we're going to climb out to 3,000 feet. We're going to intercept on runway heading, and we're going to intercept the 287 outbound radial off the CYYZ VOR. That's plugged in. There's the should be 287. There we go, 287 on the CYYZ VOR, which is right there, and that will be our outbound to ICDOT.
Radio 416.
Kind of see the blue lighting in there.
Russia 2071, contact ground on 129er.
Looks like we got an aircraft off to our right, aircraft above us to our left, and we're inbound now. There's the glide slope showing, so we're going to come down to approach mode. We'll arm the glide slope, and we're keeping our descent down to 3,000 feet currently. 13 miles out, we're going to slow down to 185.
Denmark 1 November, what was the reason for the go on?
And there's 2,500 feet.
Roger, departure is 128.
288, Denmark 1 November.
They've formally closed the Downsview Airport. We used to fly over it. It's now formally shut down. I believe that could be it right there. It's gone dark now, and Bombardier is now building in a new facility at Pearson off the other end of runway 23. A little bit of stutters there. I think that is the airport loading in.
413, it's going to be 3 minutes from the heavy.
Hey, radio 416.
Traffic over there. We will, looks like he's going to be turning in, so we're just going to make him go away. That's FSLTL stuff there. We're only at 3,000 feet. Glide slope is coming in. See our missed approach course. This is switched over as well. It's done it. That's the second time that's done that. Interesting. All right, we're now on the glide slope.
Romeo Kilo, cross runway 248.
And gear down. Speed down to 165. There's no DME apparently on this ILS, so we'll just ballpark it. Gear down 3 green, flaps 15.
Indy Romeo Kilo, contact ground on 129er.
A number of aircraft around right now, that's good. And we're going to kind of bring it down now. So our approach speed plus, or rough speed plus 5 will be 133.
416, caution wing turbulence from the heavy that went around.
We're below 160.
Take off from 23.
Wait for takeoff 23, rodeo 416.
It's flaps 25.
2 tower line up runway 23, keep the Challenger in sight.
Keep the Challenger in sight, runway 23.
Below 150, flaps 30. And we are doing a full 40 flaps landing for today. And there we go, below 140, so flaps full. Gear down 3 green, flaps full, lights are on, cabin is notified, runway is identified. A little bit of a crosswind, we are going to get that. So we can expect that. It should be a 1 knot headwind, we'll see if it veers around enough for that. And about a 12 knot crosswind from the right.
2, maintain visual separation, clear takeoff from runway 23.
Visual separation, clear for takeoff 23, rouge for channel 2.
Rodeo 416, contact departure 128.
388, we'll see you, rodeo 416.
So they seem to be taking off on the north runways now. Probably done a switch over. We're going to remain landing this way. 500 feet. I have control.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Landing.
Tower Low, Sir Canada 891 Heavy, this is ideal stock final.
Canada 891 Heavy, Toronto Tower, wind 3208, clear to land, runway 23.
100.
Clear to land 23, Air Canada 891.
50. 30. 20. 10.
All right, so it's down.
1502, departure 138.
1502, yes.
Auto brakes are up. Reverse your screen. $70 knots. Oh, stuttering there. There's 60. Manual braking. Looks like we're going to get off at H4. Not sure where all this frame rate stutter is coming from.
Local Lima Tower, up.
It's a little annoying.
Bravo, Lima.
Bravo, Lima Tower at Whiskey, line up runway 24 left, stop your climb 4,000 feet.
Climb now only to 4,000 feet for Bravo.
All right, we're off at Hotel 4.
Position, hold 24 left, over.
Tower low, Rouge 1811, 14, Eric, 44 left. Rouge 1811, Toronto Tower, container number 1, runway 24 left, parking Challenger. Check.
And we'll get through. Let's get the flaps up.
From Whiskey, clear takeoff.
Speed brakes disarmed.
Bravo, Lima, clear to go.
We'll go down the Rotorua. So flaps up, speed brakes retracted, transponder will go to XPDR. Position lights will now go to steady. Wing lights will come off. Runway turn off lights will come off. Landing lights, let's get up here. Landing lights will retract. Taxi lights are on. APU, we will start.
Hotel 6 or Hotel Ground 2165.
Anti-ice is off, that's fine. Probe heats are off. Engine start switches are off.
1811, they're on the roll. Wind 2906, clear to land, runway 24 left.
Auto brakes are off. Clear the cautions. And we'll taxi in. All right. We're going to head to,
Air Canada,
let me get down here onto Hotel.
457 Alpha Lima and contact here for 122.07.
We're going to go to the domestic side of the Terminal 1. And we're going to be heading to gate, I think it's D35 or 135 from the outside. D for domestic. International gates are Echo, and U.S. transborder gates are Foxtrot. Which, since you can clear U.S. customs here in Toronto, means that those gates are isolated and secured off. And I've got aircraft coming in on 2-3 now as well. So there are 3 sets of gates. Yeah, it looks like they're taking off that way and landing. It looks like there's an aircraft coming in on 2-4 as well. Interesting. So let's pull up GSX and see if it will give us
Kind 592,
gate
taxi Charlie,
135.
Alpha Lima. Taxi Charlie, Alpha.
Oh, there's somebody there. Let's see what other gates we can get. Well, you can get 137.
Ground United 733.
So we'll go for 137.
For and short of Alpha Mike with India.
United 733, runway 23, altimeter is
That's all good.
2906.
So we're going to
Alpha Kilo.
All right, runway 23, Alpha, short, Alpha
come
Kilo.
across here. We're going to cross 33 left.
Air Canada 1042, contact here for 122.07.
Looks clear.
Air Canada 1042.
Then we're going to keep going here. We'll go across 33 right. And that looks clear as well.
Ground hello, Sunwing 7133, crossing 24 right.
Sunwing 7133, turn left, Charlie 4, Foxtrot to Foxtrot Alpha.
Turn left, Charlie 4, Fox Alpha, Sunwing 7123.
Hey, ground United 733, how should we get from Alpha Mike to Alpha?
It's very busy here at Toronto.
Victor, so it's Victor Alpha, hold for the Alpha Kilo.
Terminal.
Victor Alpha,
looks clear.
Of Alpha Kilo United 733.
Air Canada 592, give way United exiting up ahead.
So we're going to cross over and we're going to pick up Alpha. We're going to taxi down Alpha. This is 33 right coming up. They don't use the north-south ones that often. Generally only when they have to. If the wind is extremely strong. Alright, so the first one's going to be Bravo. That's kind of the one they use coming up north.
United 733, contact on 121.65.
2165,
Alpha.
733.
Now here at Vista we usually find a UPS 727 freighter sitting there doing its thing. And we got some of the Air Canada maintenance buildings here.
Delta 4, Charlie 4, parking at Bravo 14.
Air Canada 7253, continue to Echo Bravo and contact Airborne on 122.27.
Echo Bravo 2227, thanks, have a good night, Air Canada 7253.
Delta 2477, taxi Delta, cross runway 33 right, and then
taxi
Alpha,
into the wind.
Alpha Kilo.
Alright, Delta, cross 33 right, Alpha, 4 Alpha Kilo, Delta 2477.
Try to keep that speed up so we're not here too long. See the Air Canada logo. Back doing that view thing again. First up, coming up here on our left is Terminal 3. That's non-Star Alliance aircraft. So you get American, KLM, Air France, British Airways, all that type of stuff in there. Terminal 1, which is the next one where we're going to be going, is the Air Canada terminal plus All Star Alliance plus hello there. We're just going to ignore you.
Endeavor 5146 Delta, cross runway 33 right, Alpha, hold short of Alpha Kilo.
Yeah. Everybody look away. As I was saying, plus all the Star Alliance, plus Emirates parks at Terminal 1, since that's the only one they will actually fit in there.
Delta 2477, it was short of Alpha Kilo.
Delta 2477.
There's, you can see the British Airways. And then down here is all the Air Canada. We're going down here. We're going to go in at Alpha Kilo, which is the next one coming up.
Charlie India, runway 23, altimeter is 260. This is Juliet, turn left Echo, hold short of Sierra.
We've got another aircraft coming out now.
Left Echo, hold short Sierra for 23 at 2996, over Charlie.
Cathay Pacific.
Apron hello, United 568 at 251, request push.
He's heading south on Broad. I'm going to have to look that up. Maybe I've got these wrong.
You can stay on this frequency. Alright, this frequency.
But that's where we're headed over this way. There's, I think that's 135 where that Air Canada is sitting. We'll find out in a second. As we're going to pull in. And it should not be in too far. It's like the second or third one in. Back there it is, right there. Yeah, that's 137. This will be 135.
Children, blue 345, beam 142.
Sorry, 137.
245.
135 beside it. Kill that taxi light.
Tractor 774 with you.
And there we go. We are okay. Parking brake on. I'm going to pop up to the top. Quickly throw the dim light on. And we can start doing our shutdown. So we're going to come down here. We're going to go into our menu. We're going to give them the hand signals to put in the chocks and get ground power connected. APU is already up and running, so the APU bleeds can come on. We'll turn off those APUs. We're going to go over to APU generators. And we're going to shut down the fuel. Switch over to ground power. Anti-collision light will come off. We'll leave those lights on. Red equipment's coming in. All of these fuel pumps can come off. Isolation valve will open. They can bring in the
4125, your time is valid, monitor 12227.
jetway.
Nice.
Flight directors are off. Kill the caution. And once the jetway's in, we can commence deboarding. All right, we made it to Toronto. Well, thank you very, very much for coming along on our second of two flights today. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all on the next one.